Running a business is like navigating a thrilling roller coaster ride. There are exhilarating highs and daunting lows, and amidst all the excitement, one question often looms large. Where exactly does all my money go? You might have a solid grasp on the costs tied directly to your products or services, but what about those sneaky expenses that slip under the radar? You know, the rent, the electricity, the phone bills, the office supplies, and yes, even that daily coffee run for the team. All these are part of what we call overhead costs. They are essential for keeping the lights on and the doors open, but if left unchecked, they can quickly eat into your profits. This is where an overhead budget comes into play. Think of it as your financial roadmap, specifically designed to track and manage those indirect costs that don't directly correlate with your products or services. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Creating a budget sounds complicated. But trust me, it's simpler than it seems. Today, I'm going to break it down for you step by step, making it easy to follow. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting out, learning how to prepare an overhead budget is a powerful tool to help you take control of your finances and keep your business thriving. So, let's start with the basics. What exactly is an overhead budget? In simple terms, it's a comprehensive financial plan designed to forecast and manage the indirect expenses associated with running a business. These expenses, often referred to as overhead costs, differ from direct costs, which are directly tied to producing goods or services. For example, the cost of raw materials and direct labor are direct costs. In contrast, overhead costs encompass expenses essential for the overall functioning of your business, but aren't directly attributable to creating any single product or service. Some common examples of overhead costs include rent or mortgage payments for your business premises, utility bills like electricity and water, office supplies such as paper and pens, marketing costs, insurance policies, and payroll taxes for administrative staff. Individually, these costs might seem insignificant, but their cumulative effect can be substantial. An overhead budget is your strategic instrument to predict and manage these often overlooked expenses, ultimately contributing to a stronger financial position for your business. Now, you might be wondering, why is it so important to prepare an overhead budget? The answer is simple. While generating profits is the ultimate goal for any business, managing those indirect costs is critical for achieving financial success. An overhead budget enhances visibility and control over your expenses, allowing you to identify potential waste or inefficiencies. It enables improved financial planning and forecasting, helping you anticipate future expenses and make informed decisions regarding investments and staffing levels. Moreover, having an overhead budget fosters accountability and cost awareness within your organization. When everyone understands the spending parameters, they become more conscious of resource utilization, leading to more cost-effective decisions. It also encourages collaboration across departments. Developing an overhead budget often requires input from various teams, fostering a sense of shared responsibility for managing costs and achieving financial goals. Now, let's talk about who can benefit from an overhead budget. The answer is almost everyone. Whether you're running a small startup, managing a large corporation, working in a specific department, supporting a nonprofit, or even managing your personal finances, an overhead budget can be an invaluable tool. For businesses, it helps you visualize where your money goes, allowing for smarter spending decisions. For departments, it provides a framework to manage individual expenses effectively. For nonprofits, it enhances transparency, helping demonstrate responsible use of donations. And for individuals, it's about gaining control over regular expenses to reach financial goals faster. So, how do you prepare an overhead budget? Let's break it down into 5 simple steps. Step 1. Identify your overhead costs. This is crucial. You need to figure out all the expenses that fall under overhead costs, Divide them into two main groups: fixed overhead costs and variable overhead costs. Fixed costs are like the pillars of your budget. They remain constant throughout your budgeting period, regardless of your production level. Think rent, salaries for administrative staff, insurance premiums, and subscription fees. On the other hand, variable costs fluctuate based on your production or activity level. These include utilities, office supplies, manufacturing supplies, and commissions. Be thorough in identifying these costs because even seemingly small expenses can significantly impact your budget in the long run. Step 2. Gather historical data and projections. You'll want to collect the data that will form the foundation of your budget projections. Look at your past financial statements, your income statements and balance sheets, because they provide valuable historical data on your actual overhead costs. Research industry benchmarks to see how your costs compare to others in your field. If your business involves producing goods, have a production forecast ready to estimate variable overhead costs tied to production levels. Similarly, a sales forecast is essential for predicting overhead costs influenced by sales volume. Step 3. Estimate your overhead costs. Now that you've gathered the necessary data, it's time to construct your budget. Start by estimating your fixed costs. These are relatively easy to estimate since they remain stable. Just refer to your past financial statements or existing contracts to find historical costs for each fixed category. For variable costs, use the formula: cost per unit multiplied by the activity level equals total cost. For instance, if your variable cost for office supplies is $2 per employee per month, and you expect an average of 11 employees, you'd calculate $2 times 11 tons, which equals $22 per month. Step 4. Choose an allocation method, if applicable. This is particularly important for businesses with multiple production lines or departments. You might not need this step if your operation is simpler, but for those with more complexity, allocation methods help distribute overhead costs fairly across departments or product lines. You can use a single overhead rate for simplicity, or opt for departmental overhead rates, or even activity-based costing for more accuracy. Step 5. Finalize your overhead budget. Compile all the details into a clear and concise format. Create a table or spreadsheet that summarizes your fixed and variable costs, presenting them in an easy-to-read manner. Ensure all categories are clearly labeled and consider adding a total row at the bottom to showcase your total estimated overhead cost for the budgeting period. Now that you've prepared your overhead budget, let's talk about some tips for effective budgeting. First, foster collaboration by involving representatives from different departments. Their insights can enhance accuracy and highlight potential savings. Second, embrace realistic and conservative estimates. Avoid the temptation to overestimate income or underestimate expenses. This will help you prepare for the unexpected and avoid financial strain. Third, monitor and update your budget regularly. Your budget should be a living document. By tracking actual expenses against your estimates, you can identify variances and adapt to changes effectively. Lastly, leverage your budget for cost control and enhanced profitability. Analyzing spending trends can help you identify areas for cost saving and improve your overall financial health. In conclusion, crafting an overhead budget might seem complex at first, but the benefits to your business are undeniable. By following these steps and incorporating these tips, you'll gain a clear understanding of your indirect costs, predict and manage them effectively, and make informed financial decisions. This translates into better resource allocation, improved profitability, and a stronger financial footing for your business. Remember, an overhead budget is not just a document. It's an investment in your business's future. So, take the leap, embrace the process, and watch your business thrive.